Hello and welcome back to another Gunpla review. Today we're taking a look at the GN0000 Gundam. Though it's probably pronounced the O Gundam. Though the O is another mobile suit from Zeta, but I digress. This is the all-gray variant. There is also the ACD type, which has more traditional Gundam colors. And yes, this is a pretty blatant RX-78 reference. Also, I am using this for a custom, so I will point out where the stickers go and any paint, but I'll just say at the start that the blue is not supposed to be there. Now, before we get into the articulation, I just want to start by saying this thing uses a frankly ridiculous amount of polycaps. 30. This high grade uses 30 polycaps, and not all of them are used for articulation, but pretty much every joint on this thing uses a polycap. Don't really know why. It's not like it needs to hold a bunch of weight or anything. It's just, yeah, all the joints are polycaps. Though that may just be because they looked at this runner and went, oh yeah, we still have like half this thing left over. Seriously, there's a lot of polycaps on this runner, and this is how many are left. But, anyway, let's get into the articulation, shall we? Alright, getting into the articulation. Focus. Let's start with the head. It's on 2 ball joints. Gets a very, very nice range. It can rotate all the way around, but it's kind of a... it doesn't like to. And also the gem just came off. Might just be mine, but it is a bit loose. Honestly, I'd recommend gluing it. Anyway, the shoulders are on a forward hinging polycap, as well as a ball joint. They can go out about this far out to the side. 90 degrees at this joint. Then another about 45 at this joint. Though you can also force it a bit further if you put some pressure on it, because it pulls it down. But that's all it's supposed to go. There's of course a rotation at the upper arm, and the hands, as usual, are on ball joints. Now, as for the chest, there is a ball joint up here in the waist, which gets a bit of back and forth, a little bit side to side. Not a huge difference, but it does add to the overall movement. There is a ball joint at the waist, which is where you're going to get most of your movement to. It doesn't get a full 360 because it ends up banging against the hip skirts. Though I suppose you probably could force it past that, but it's not supposed to go further than that. Still, that's a pretty good range. The front skirts are on ball joints. I've separated them. They do come attached. They can get out of the way perfectly fine. The side skirts are also on ball joints, surprisingly enough. Don't really know why they did that, but, you know, they get out of the way perfectly fine. They get some wiggle. Back skirt is solid. However, this can shift up, and there's a 3mm port there. Don't really know what that's for outside of just an additional point for stands to attach. The hips get not very far back because the back skirts are static. They can get really, really far out to the front, and that's without even shifting the hips. If you shift them over to the side or out towards the front some more, you can get just ridiculously high up. I mean, it's just banging against the front skirt at this point. Full splits easily, even from the side. There is a rotation at the upper thigh, which can get a full 360. The knee can get a full 180 degree bend, which is impressive. And the ankles are a peg that both gets forward and backwards from the polycap hinge, as well as a rotation separate from the ball joint of the actual foot, which honestly doesn't do a lot. but it does have a slight rock. And the ankle armor is on a ball joint which goes up into the ankle piece. Now, moving on to the accessories, and let's start with the sticker sheet, which obviously I haven't used, and doesn't seem to want to display the colors correctly, but let's get this in. Obviously this is the eye sticker. There we go, focused. I painted all of the blue and also the black around the eyes. These are for the V-fin because they molded it in white, even though it's supposed to be yellow. This one here, which looks black but has a very slightly green tint, is meant to go inside of the chest here. Again, painted. This white one, right here, is meant to cover over this because this is the wrong color. And these yellow ones here are supposed to go on the hip pieces because those are also supposed to be yellow. So yeah, a lot of color correction, and it's not easy color correction because it's a lot of light colors on dark plastic. Also, it doesn't come with any camera stickers at all, and it doesn't come with any stickers to detail this. Also, it doesn't come with a sticker, but this area here is supposed to be white. So, to be color accurate, you're going to have to paint it. Also, this little area in here on the foot needs to be painted. Moving on to an options part, you do get the alternate back piece, which you'll notice is painted because it's the one I'm going to be using, and you can just swap these out. This is one of the areas that uses a polycap for some reason. I don't really know why they used a polycap to hold this in, but yeah, the peg hole uses a polycap to hold it on. Also, you do get a beam saber hilt. This is attached on by a ball joint, which means you get a little bit of in and out, and also some forward and back. And this fits into the hand perfectly fine. Not going to fall out or anything. However, you don't get a beam saber for it. You just get the hilt. So unless you have some spares, this is completely useless. Also, you get the shield, as you saw at the beginning, and this just kind of frictions onto the arm. It's not super secure, but it won't just fall off at least. This also uses a polycap, which gives it a slight in and out, and can rotate. Finally, you get the beam rifle, which is almost more of a beam pistol given the size, but we won't worry about that. That just slides into the hand. Looks alright. Also, it does come with the GN feather effect part, and it's just a completely flat piece of plastic. You want to see what it looks like? Here, this is what it looks like. It's not very impressive. It doesn't look very good. Honestly, I didn't even bother taking it out of the bag. I really don't like the look of it. It's really, really underwhelming. And because it's completely flat, unless you're looking at it completely straight on, it looks bad. Also, there is actually a 3mm stand port up underneath the waist, but it has a cap over it. There we go. Don't really know why they did that, but yeah, you get this little piece of plastic. Don't lose it. And for a quick size comparison, about average height for a mobile suit, maybe a little bit taller, slightly, very slightly. To wrap things up, the O Gundam is a very, very well articulated kit. Really, the problems I have come from the kind of underwhelming overall just package. The missing camera stickers are annoying, but I can let that slide. But no beam sabers, that's just... why? Not to mention they really didn't future-proof the mold, considering the amount of stickers they needed to use to color correct this version. And overall, it just kind of has the late 2000s pretty good, but a couple what were they thinking moments here and there, namely the absurd amount of polycaps this thing uses for its joints. Also, that GN feather is just... yeah, no. I mean, if you like the design, yeah, go for it, but I got this for a custom. I probably wouldn't have bought it otherwise. But anyway, that's it for this review. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for future reviews and watch my backlog. And as always, until next time, happy building.